Welcome to National Distance Learning Week with SUNY Online. I am Aline Slating, the Senior Instructional Designer for SUNY Online Teaching, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to today's session and introduce our speaker. Dave Ghidiu teaches in the Computing Science Department at Finger Lakes Community College. He is also the director of the Center for Teaching and Learning. Dave is a champion of open content and open pedagogy. He also works to bring the scholarship of teaching and learning to all of his endeavors. When not in class, you might find Dave at speaking engagements where he brings the perfect recipe of enthusiasm, knowledge, and empathy. A dynamic presenter and avid technophile, Dave is sure to teach you something new and ensure you have fun in the process. Welcome, Dave.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for saying all those nice things. I appreciate that. And there actually has been an update to my bio since that was written. The Center for Teacher and Learning has been taken over by people brighter and bigger than me that understand all that good stuff. And I've moved on to be the interim AI lead strategist for the college. So I get a lot of release time working on that. So it is in the capacity of CTL and online learning and AI that I am happy to bring to you Google Vids. And I don't know, since I can't see your hands out there, I'm assuming that I can feel the pain when I say, like, most people, especially when you're teaching online, like, feel the pain of video creation, because there historically it's been like a three-tool process. You need to record your content and create your content in one place, and then maybe modify and edit it somewhere else. And some tools like Camtasia, you can kind of do both of those. You can do one of them real well, and you can edit it kind of well. And then the third is you have to host it. And oftentimes that's somewhere like YouTube or Vimeo or any number of places. So there's really kind of three tools that you need to learn and to use. And Google Vids has been around for about a year, and it is unbelievable. I don't know how it's escaped the radar of my radar for as long as it has, but I'm here to show you that this is like a three-tool solution all in one, and it goes beyond YouTube. And so let me just show you kind of quickly what I think the most potent piece is, but then I'm going to show you the other 85 potent pieces as well, because I've never seen a product like this, and I'm really, really excited to be using it. You will notice, and by the way, you can access this. Let me just show you how to access this in case you want to follow at home. If you're in Google Drive, and let me make that a little bit bigger for you. If you go to New, you'll see Google Vids right there, and you can create vids right from there in whatever folder. Also, if you right-click, you'll be able to see it. And of course, if you go to More, then you'll see some of your other things as well. One thing that I do like showing, and this is true for all sorts of different Google products, if you just type in vids.new, it will create a new one. Just like if you hit docs, if you type in docs.new, it creates a new Google Doc, slides.new. And this is true for Word and Excel too. As long as you're logged in, you can do word.new. So this is just a piece of information that's free. That's just tossing that one in there for free. That's typically how I create files these days. So let me close those and just kind of show you the layout, what happens when you create a new vids. You will get a splash screen, and I have Google Gemini Pro. I pay the $20 a month. So that gives me a few extra features that you won't have. And that's okay, because I'll be going over kind of what the features that I have are and kind of different ways you can use them and work around that. I usually, for right now, I'm just going to start from blank, and I'm going to blow up this screen a little bit and just talk about the layout here so you can understand what's going on. And let's see. Just for clarity's sake, because the colors might be washed out, I'm going to change the background of this slide, and this is slide based. If you've used Camtasia or you've used Adobe Premiere, then it's timeline based. And if you've used Google Slides, then you know what a slide based feature is. So you have different slides here, and you can have different transitions between your slides. So I'm in Google Slides right now. And then you can have animations on there that are like either on click, or you can have animations that are like with each other, or whatever it looks like. And by the way, if you haven't been in Google Slides lately, they do have this toolbar on the right where it gives you like all sorts of different kind of cool templates. And it has like building blocks that will help you have animations that come in and it has like photos, so you can go through stock images, GIFs. So it does have this toolbar, which is really kind of slick. And again, this is in Google Slides, and that toolbar's been there for a while, although it's quite easy to miss. Heading back to Google Vids, we have this toolbar, and it's a little more sophisticated. We still have templates, so you can add different templates, and you can click in there. But these are more kinetic because every slide can have animations that are timed. And again, because this is made for making a video, it's a little bit different in that your time, it's not on click. You're not waiting for a click for something to happen. You can say, wait 3 seconds and then have this event happen. So let me kind of show you what all this looks like. Let's say that I have I don't know, maybe I want to make some text that comes in. So I'm just going to go, and they have these prefab ones. So maybe it's a headline, and I kind of like this episode 1. Note that you can also just create text from scratch, or in the dark ages of slide creation, you can just actually like make, I don't know, a rounded rectangle, and then put text in there. So it doesn't matter. You just have to have an object. And this, actually, I'm going to keep that object up there. So I have an object here, and this is a new interface on Google Vids, which I've seen this is starting to trickle into other tools as well in Google, in that the animation tab, I just click on that, or the format, the options. And both those exist in Google Slides. It's just in a different spot. Like if you wanted to animate, you'd have to click on and go to animate, and then we bring up our animation. Or you could click on format options and you get this sidebar here. But Google Vids has it attached to the object, so it's a little bit quicker to get to. And I suspect we'll be seeing this trickling down to Google Slides and Google Drawings and all those good tools. So whenever you click on an object, then you get a different context menu. So in this case, I have animation and formatting. And formatting would be like the size and the position, if I want to drop a shadow on it or whatever. Whereas in text, now I have a third thing that I can do. In fact, if I have a video, then there's even more options. So I can see the transcript, I can animate it, I can control the sound. So this menu is a little, it's contextual in that it's based on the item. So let me show you where the magic happens. I'm going to show you where the magic happens. A really, really cool thing that I think instructional designers and course designers cannot live without moving forward. So, and that's not, I'm just setting the stage right now. So there's a timeline for this particular slide, and I'm going to show it, and I can see that I have the rounded rectangle or the 3 objects because that episode 1. You can adjust the timing of it. And so this whole slide is 5 seconds, and I could decrease the slide to like 4.4. I could make it really, really long if I wanted to. And you can have your objects. In this case, I have this object is coming in right around second 1.9 or 1.6 and ending at like 3.4. But if you hit the animation button, now you can say, oh, well, when it comes in, I want it to rise up from the bottom. And I'm going to do the whole thing instead of character by character. It looks a little weird with character by character. And then when that exits, I want it to slide back down, or maybe I want it to slide to the left. So let me show you what this slide looks like right now. So it comes up from the bottom and then it goes off to the left. And that's kind of cool. So now we have 2 different animations, and we can, have the same thing for this one. We could have this maybe scale up, and I'm going to keep that on enter and exit so that now when we watch it, let me start it from the beginning. You'll see it starts. Okay. And that's going to go to the left, and then this is going to vanish. And then we can build more slides. And you might be thinking to yourself, what's the big deal here? This is just like Google Slides, except now it's making a movie. But here's where some of the cool stuff comes in. The tool for recording, you can record just from your camera. So it could just be me talking and it records it, or the camera and the screen, or just the screen, or just the voiceover. And by the way, if you do a voiceover and you have a script, it will bring up a teleprompter. And as you're talking, because of AI, it knows where you are, and the teleprompter will start and then it will stop and catch up. So I was going to demo this camera and screen, but because I'm sharing my screen, I can't easily do that. So I went ahead and did that prior to this webinar. So this is just a video of me using Google Gemini. And then also I chose the option where it was the camera and the screen. But these are two different objects. So I could make my whole face be the size of the screen, and then I can toggle between them, or you can, I'll maybe shrink that. You can crop it to be, maybe you prefer rounded corners. So the video editing in here is actually really, really slick because you can do all sorts of things that you can't do this with YouTube, and you can't do this with Google Slides. And it's pretty hard to do this with Camtasia, at least this easy, where you can create videos and then slide them wherever you want. And I think what I'd like to do is maybe I'll have that come in. I'm going to do the toaster function. I'll just have that be on the toaster. And then I'm going to go to the formatter, and I like dropping the shadows, and you can adjust the size and the position, all that stuff. But this is where I want to be right now. And then with our video, and I'm going to put this over in the staging area. Our canvas is right here. And again, let me change that to like light blue so you can see it. This is the canvas. Anything that's off canvas isn't going to be in it. But this is also one of the strengths, because in Camtasia, I don't think you can put objects off into, maybe you can now, into the staging area. So like if I have a whole bunch of objects that I don't want on my main screen right now because I'm working on this underlying video, but I want to come back to it, then I'll just kind of put it in this desktop area. But with any video, you can crop it. So maybe I don't want my whole desktop for that. I just want that Gemini piece. And maybe I realize that this Gemini piece, oh, let me crop that a little bit more. Maybe I realize that this is a little too small. So in crop mode, and this is true like in any Google product, you can zoom in very easily, and now we're cropping just the bits that we want. So now I have two kind of competing videos that are in the same exact spot, or I'm sorry, on the same exact slide. And if I reveal the timing, then we're going to see, and I could have them one bop in at a different time, but because these are both kind of telling the same story and the same narrative, and this is really me talking about what's happening on the screen. And I don't know if I shared the audio, so I'm just going to hit play. And help with that point. And I guess you can't hear the audio, but one thing I did when I was recording this audio was I intentionally put in a whole bunch of ums and uhs. And I want to show you this tool because this is bonkers. I can edit with the transcript, and it will tell me where the pauses are. Let me zoom in over here. And it will tell me where the ums and the uhs are, and it will remove them. So I can remove that pause, or I can remove all the pauses. If I say or I can remove that. If I don't like this word, I can remove that. And it puts it in strike through so that it will actually remove it from the audio. And what it's doing is trimming the video just like a hair, however long it took me to say the word columns or the ums and the uhs. So that to me is a really interesting word or feature. And right now you can see I had 0 filler words, but a whole bunch of pauses. You can also, and this is one of the really, really cool things, if you have Gemini. And I struggle between like recommending an AI service, or at least I did up until very recently. So a lot of people will say like, hey, Dave, if I'm going to spend $20, should it be on Claude? Should it be on ChatGPT? Should it be on Google Gemini? And if I have $30, should it be on Microsoft Copilot? So I used to say it's kind of all the same, but we've started to see kind of like divergence in who they're marketing to and what their features are. So right now, I think if you're going to spend $20, even if you're not at a Google campus, for instance, I'm at Finger Lakes and I'm at a Microsoft campus, I still pay $20 for Google Gemini because I think it's roughly equivalent to ChatGPT and Claude in the chatbot versions, but the features that you get are unbelievable. Like you get video generation for free. You get like integration within docs and slides and sheets. You get Gemini Pro for like video generation, image generation. You also have like these other features that I have here in this product in Vids that don't exist if you don't have it in the other products. So for $20, I think it's roughly the same. And I do want to acknowledge that there is a switching cost. So for instance, ChatGPT was first to market, and Google Bard, when it first came out, and later Gemini, was pretty immature at that time. So a lot of people went all in on ChatGPT, and that's where like all your conversations are now. So I recognize that it's hard to like switch, But and I actually pay for both, so I use Google Gemini more and more every day, and I'm kind of phasing away from ChatGPT. That aside, in addition to the formatting, and I can easily control the volume, and it has this feature called ducking. And if you know, you know, it's not worth going into right now, but that's like a higher end audio tool that exists here. And you can say, hey, I only want that video to start at like 22 seconds and end at 28, and you can loop it. So you get all sorts of cool stuff. You also get access to stock images and stock videos. And this is true even if you don't have the Gemini paid version. So if I create another slide, then I can bring in, oh, I want to have like that. And then, you know, if you want to preview it, you can just hit the play button and you can see what it looks like. And then you can have text coming up and over it, things like that. But this is not the killer feature. I'm going to show you the killer feature and why I love using it. Because in the good old days of, and I guess I'm going to bring this, I'm going to do a little split screen here. In the good old days of making videos, you'd have to create a video in whatever software and then upload it to YouTube and embed it. But because this is a Google software, and by the way, it's collaborative, just like Google Docs. So you can work on it with multiple people. You can leave comments on it. It's cloud-based, so you don't need to have, and this is a pain in the neck for Camtasia because Camtasia is different on the Mac and the PC. So this is platform agnostic because it's on the web. So I can log in, work on my presentation from any software or any computer, even my tablet, my phone, although it's not quite there yet. And let me just show you what this looks like. It's just going to be, you know, me talking and then split screen. So I have some screen captures here. But what I want to draw your attention to is the beginning slide. So this beginning slide, I did a presentation or a video on picking an AI chatbot, and then it just has me talking, and then it goes into kind of different features. And if you were in the course right now where it is, you could just hit the play button. Let me refresh that. And this should look very familiar. It's the same exact presentation that you're watching on the left, which is Google Vids, and on the right, which is Brightspace. However, if I make any change to this, and realistically, when I think of videos that I make for my courses, there's kind of like 3 different flavors. One of those flavors of courses that I enjoy making, or that I find myself making, is like every week, in one of my courses, I'll make a video called, what to expect this week. And this is a YouTube video. So this is kind of like one and done. It's ephemeral. After the semester, it doesn't really matter. So I don't spend too much time producing it. Maybe I'll have text that floats up there once or twice. Not a big deal. The second type of video that I make is what I call a virtual postcard. And I learned this, Bonnie Stachowiak on her podcast once had someone talking about this. And he teaches online. He's like, yeah, every weekend I just make a postcard and I put it in the announcements. And it has nothing to do with course. It's just like, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm walking my dogs. I'm at the airport, whatever. I hope you're getting out and having a good time. Get some time for yourself. Like I get the strain, like take some time, do something that's not school related. So to me, this is worth a little bit of production. And you can see in the background, actually, all the previous like postcards from the course of the semester. But the last type of video, so the first type is like ephemeral, disposable, doesn't really matter. The second one kind of like builds up on itself. And then the third video would be, let's say, like in my ed tech class, I do a 20-minute video on Google Docs. But the problem is like those tools change over time and the interfaces change. So when it's time to update that video, I have to like basically create it from scratch. It's not an elegant solution. But in Google Vids, you just saw me put in this chat bubble. Let me go back and show you where it's embedded. When a learner gets to this page, it will be the current state of it. So any change I make here in the video and Vids automatically gets pushed to wherever this video is. And this is great if you have shared resources. Here's another great example. In our computing sciences course, in our entry-level course that everyone takes, we have a video that has an introduction of like everyone who teaches in the department. It's like 1 minute. Here's what I teach. Here's my name. Here's how you can contact me. And when we hire new people, like we did this semester, all we have to do is now add slides to the Google Vids. We don't have to republish the video. And wherever it's embedded in everyone's Brightspace course, it's updated automatically. There's no action that needs to be taken on any instructor because it's a live representation of this. And it works really, really well. And you can look at it and you can see it also has a flavor that's like a little different than YouTube, which gives it maybe a little bit more a little bit more credibility. And for those of you who are asking, the closed captioning on it works really, really well. You can see it's doing capitalization, it's doing punctuation. I've had fantastic success with this. So and you can still change the speed on it. In fact, they have a dedicated button for that, which YouTube does not have. And it has kind of like the quality and it has the typical settings menu. So I'm almost all in on this for videos that matter, for videos that are instructional in nature, that aren't ephemeral. If it's just me getting in front of the camera talking, I'm probably going to use YouTube for that. But for the vast majority of things, I'm going to use Google Vids. There are some downsides to using Google Vids. One downside is it loses functionality after around 10 minutes. So you have to keep your videos a little bit shorter than that. The other downside is it takes up space on your Google Drive, whereas YouTube does not. For instance, in my YouTube arsenal, even though I only have like 5 or 6 videos public, I have about 1,800 videos that I've made for all my courses that just aren't public. They're hidden. You need to know the URL. But these do not count against my storage space, whereas Google Vids will count against my storage space. So you kind of have to balance that and understand like how you're going to use it. And my suggestion is, and it does take a little while to get started with Google Vids. Because I was used to Google Slides or PowerPoint, the menus were in a little different spot. And the way that it works, so like when you click on a slide, sometimes you can't click on an object. You have to click on it twice to activate it. And then you have to get used to like how the formatting, how these like different icons work. But once you get used to it, it goes really, really fast. And it's worth the investment of time. So it took me a few minutes. It probably took me an hour or so to do like a 4-minute video. But then the next time I did a 4-minute video, it took me like half an hour. And now I can whip one up in like 10 to 15 minutes and make it really good. And here's the best part. Even if it's not that good, just ship it, embed it in your course. And then when you have time later on, you can, embellish it, make this thing pop in and out, and it's still live in the course. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be that is the dominant reason why I'm going to be using it. And then one of the last things that you can use if you want to like learn how to use this a little bit more effectively is I like going to their templates, and they have a few different, let me go back. They have like a few different, I guess like types of templates. So this is like say an all text one. So I'm going to click on that. And then I see different slides in here. So if you want to learn how Google Vids works, insert a slide and then just look at the timeline and you can click on it. Let me bring this back down and you can look at the format. So you can learn how things are happening just by bringing in all these kind of like really high end templates that you see here. So it does have this like learning thing built in. I did do a video on vibe coding. And if you don't know what vibe coding is, it's using AI to program. You don't need to know anything about programming. You just need to be able to imagine a website or an application, like an app for your phone, and Google. And using AI, I actually use Claude for it, but you can use any AI and it will create the app for you. So to me, that's really, really interesting. In fact, we're teaching a class on that next semester as an alternative. So a lot of our learners have to take Word, Excel, PowerPoint for their computer science elective, but now they'll be able to take vibe coding. So I wanted to have a vibe coding like promo, and to do that, I needed to have some, we call it B-roll. So I'll throw in a B-roll right here. And I want to have video of someone with their head, like a learner with their heads in their hands saying, oh, I'll never, like, this class is not for me, or programming's not for me, or something like that. So I went to Google Vio, which is their video editing. Now, if you don't have Google Gemini Pro, you will not have this button. But you can still make videos in other places, Meta AI, and you can bring them in because you can upload any video you have, or you can bring it in from Sora too. But having it right here is really nice. So I'll say a student with their head in their hands saying, I'll never be able to program. So I'm going to generate that. And while that's baking, I want to talk to you about this avatar tool. And the avatar tool, you can have 12 different avatars. You can give them a script. So I'll just go right here, and they will read these words in their voice. So I'm gonna hit preview, and I'm gonna generate that as well. So while that's baking, I'm going to come back over here and we can see that we're 65% done. So those are two AI things that are really, really helpful. One, you can create B-roll, you can create video just from scratch by giving a prompt. And you can also have an avatar read your script. And you can change the script and the avatar will change it, and it's all AI. I believe that this is heading into a place where you'll be able to upload your own avatar and have your avatar do this. We're probably several months out from Google doing that, but when I look at the landscape of what other software is doing, this certainly seems to be where they're heading. And if you use Notebook LM, you might notice the look and feel of these videos is very similar to the overview that Notebook LM generates. And my suspicion is that Notebook LM will also be going to a place where it generates something that is editable, kind of like this Google Vids. I don't have any evidence of that yet, but that seems likely to me. And so now you can see that we have a slide of a learner, and you can't hear this because I can't do the audio, but this video right here does have audio, and it has the learner saying, like, I'll never be good at this. So just from the prompt, you get 8 seconds of a video and background noise and actual dialogue. And I generated them on the same slide, and perhaps I shouldn't have done that. So I'm just going to add another slide in between here. And I'm going to take this and I'm just going to cut that, and I'll paste it on this slide over here. I'm going to come back here. So now we have our avatar, and the avatar is saying, there's a script right there. And again, I can change this script and remove things if I want. So you could conceivably do a video that doesn't even have you in it. It's just different avatars, which is kind of cool. One last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to AI, and this is not something that I think is fully baked yet, but you can do a storyboard, and this you need Gemini for. I can be as specific or as inspecific as I want, and it will generate an entire slideshow. In fact, if you went to daveghidiu.com/AI and clicked on webinar resources, you'll be able to see, like, this video is the one that I'm working on right now. You can see that it's embedded, but this is the script that I use to generate. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the prompt that I use to generate that entire Google Vids. And that was actually taken from, I had worked with Gemini before to do the outline for what we're doing today. And it created this entire presentation without my intervention. So I am going to delete that, and maybe I'll just put this on another slide just so you can see what it would look like on your own. I'm going to put this up here, and just to demonstrate the tools a little bit more, I'm going to go to text, and we'll go to the speakers. I kind of like this one right here. So I'll just leave it as name and title, but you could have whatever you wanted. And then we can do the timing, like, oh, we want it to slide in, and then it will slide out automatically. and maybe I want that to be not quite at the beginning. So I'll leave this in here just so you can see the quality of the AI avatar and also the quality of the video that was generated by Google Gemini. And I can't iterate this enough. Like, even if these AI tools weren't there, I'd still be using this for my video production, even if I didn't have any of the AI tools, just because of how dynamic and how professional looking you can make this look with just a little bit of effort. And again, being able to embed it in your learning management system or your website this is worth its weight in gold. And fair disclosure, I pay $20 a year to have more storage space in Google Drive. And I think you might need to do that if you make a habit of making all your videos in Google VO, just because it will take time, but and I'm not anywhere close to running out of space. But you'll find that if this is your dominant video production that you store it in Google Drive, then you're going to want to, over time, you will run into a spacing issue. All right, so those are all the features that I wanted to go over. I'm going to stop right now and ask if there's any questions, and then I'm going to give you the timeshare spiel.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
We have a couple questions.
Yeah.
The first question was mine. Can you import existing slides? So let's say you have like a Google slide deck and you essentially don't want to recreate all that, or maybe that's something you already share with students, but now you're kind of turning it into a video. Can you utilize something that's existing and build upon it?
I love the way you're thinking. And that is actually one of these things. You can convert slides. So we'll ask you for a slideshow that you have. So let's see. I'll do this slideshow right here and hit select. It will bring it in. Now, it sets the table for you, and I'm just going to include all of them. Oh, this is new. It will now include a voiceover, script, and background music. That didn't happen before. Before, it was just importing the slides, but now it's doing. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. It's going to actually do the narrative for me. This sets the table for you. You might have to redo some of the animations because they work a little bit differently, because on-click isn't a thing in Google Vids, but it will give you all the bones of it and set the table, and then it's kind of incumbent on you to put things where you want them and to do the timing. So yeah, I think that's a really cool thing. Good question. Great question.
Well, now I got to add it to my to-do list. Thank you. We have another question. And I think this is referring to the avatar, the figure, that a couple examples that you had added. Does the avatar need to have the background on it like that, or can it be over the slide you create?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know the answer to that. Let me go back to where we have the avatar that was on this slide. Let's see if we can remove background, expand, set video as background. Nope. Crop video, replace video, animation. No. I know that with images you can remove the background, but not with videos. But you could. Here's what I would do. And I'm just going to copy and paste that. Oops. I'm going to copy and paste this slide because I just want to get rid of that. What I would do is, if you had a slide, so I'm just going to come over here, like this slide right here, I might do this, and I like the circle, so I crop it roughly halfway. And then I crop it as a rounded rectangle, and then just bring it all in. And you can, if you're finding that you can't like really zero in and get a circle, like if you even care about a circle, I do. I don't want it to be an oval shape. I want it to be a circle. Then if you're in crop mode, you can come over and go to your formatter and just make sure that the height and the width are the same. And so now I have a circle, and I might put it down here. I always like to anchor and go left arrow, right, up, just so it's kind of like not touching the end. And then maybe I would even drop a shadow there to make it look professional. So that's about the best you can do right now. Probably, who knows, like tomorrow you'll be able to remove the background. I don't know.
Okay. There's another question about embedding videos. Are
Mhm.
you videos into D2L directly from Google, or do you upload the videos to another hosting platform and embed that way? Since the embed
Nope.
could disappear in the future if a professor's Google, oh, since the embed could disappear in the future if a professor's Google Drive storage runs out or the link changes, something like that.
Sure. If you run out of space on a Google Drive, it does not anything that's there is always there. Now, there is a threat like what if this is my video and it's in your class and you're teaching class and then I leave the institution and or I die and my Google account goes away, that might be a problem. So there's certainly like you might want to have a more intentional approach beforehand and have like a shared Google Drive through the institution or through the department, something like that. I I'll tell you right now, I've been embedding things for years. So when I went from Blackboard to Brightspace, it was cake because everything was embedded anyhow. But to answer your question, this is embedded right from Google Vids. So all you do is go to share, make sure it's anyone with the link, and copy the link, and then you go to let me go to my LMS. I'm gonna just replace that video with this video. So I'm just gonna edit the HTML. Um, And actually, I'll just do it from scratch right here. This might seem technical, but I assure you, like this is the only HTML you ever need to know. It's iframe, and the iframe is a tag that says, "Hey, I have a video, I have a website, I have some other content," and source. So I'm just going to put the link that I had in there. I'm going to change it to play, and then you just give it a width. I don't know, a width of 800. Let's do 640, and a height of I don't know 360. I just happen to know those are the dimensions of it, and that's it. So now we go to save, and I didn't center it, but that's the only HTML you'll ever need to know for any of this is the iframe code, and so now it's in there.
A follow-up question. I don't know if this is possible, but if your institution is connected to Google Drive through Brightspace, are you able to say pull it from your Google Drive and embed it this way?
I I don't know, and I can't test that because we're not a Google campus, and I don't even know if I could pull from it. And quite frankly, yes, you probably can, but I'm very protective of where I'm linking my Google to, so I will never link it up to a third party service.
Great. And there's another follow-up question. Is there a way to export it such as an MP4?
There is. So say you did want to go to YouTube for that, you can just go to download as MP4. In fact, I did that for a long time until I realized that like I can just change this from edit to play up in the URL, and then it will just play. I was like, holy smokes, that's a game changer. Is that it for questions?
It looks to be so far. Are there any other questions? Oh, we have one more in process.
Hey, I think I'm unmuted. Can everyone hear me?
Mhm.
Oh, thanks. I was trying to type. This will be faster. Hi, my name's Patrick. This is a great session. I was a little late, but thank you for this. I'm a media specialist at CUNY. And so I was just curious, when the topic of avatars came up, Dave, it was really cool to see the samples that you were showing. And obviously, this technology is just exploding and it's becoming so much better, like week by week. I was just curious if you've gotten any responses from students who are watching videos of avatars, and if you have, do they like it? Do they find it engaging? Did they take issue with it ever? In some cases, I could imagine an avatar maybe not being so great, and maybe even being like just sort of a disappointing for a student, or not engaging. I was just curious if you've had any reactions to that.
I personally haven't, but I can give you what I think I would how my thoughts on it. One is, and I don't know if she's on the call, but Paige LaBar is a faculty member of the computer science department, and she's been using Google Vids quite a bit at FLCC, and she's done some of the avatars. One thing she did is, and this is going to be a little meta, was doing a video on AI. So she teaches a Python class, and there's a chapter on using AI in Python. So she made her intro to the week video using Vids, and she had her face in there in the beginning just to kind of like set the tone that this is still me making a video, but then had some avatars in there kind of to showcase what the AI is capable of. So I appreciated that, but also because it can be a way sometimes to just differentiate the video. So I don't know that I would ever do a video of all AI. In fact, I did, let me phrase that. I did it once, and it was just, I just want to test all 12 of the AI avatars, and it's really sterile. So you're right, you lose some type of connection. But I think every once in a while it's kind of a cool thing to do. Like you could have a newscaster, for instance, like have you in the video and have a newscaster. Like I think there's opportunities to intentionally incorporate them.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. I totally agree with you that I think kind of having a combination of an instructor presence, like the real human, the real professor, then combining that with more variety and making it even more interesting that way. I think that's really compelling. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. And two thoughts about that. One thing that I like about Google Gemini or Google Vids, this was all made from the script. And when it was done, it didn't say your video is ready. It said the draft is ready. Like you need to finish this. And I really appreciate that because like otherwise, like why am I here? Like if I'm just typing in a prompt and making a video. So I thought that was I like that they're being intentional about that as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And hello to anyone out there that was at the Gardner Institute this past weekend. I know some people said that they were going to come, the Gardner from all over the country. So I hope you're out there, and I hope that it was as promised. I would like to give you a 45-second spiel about what we're doing at Finger Lakes Community College. We have established the FLX AI Hub. And the reason this is important, and by the way, if you need to contact me, you can just contact me at ai@flcc.edu. And if you don't have an AI address at your college yet, I highly recommend having IT set one up for you, even if it's not you. But there's 4 rules that I like to always talk about. One is like co-create, don't abdicate. Never put personal information. We call it no pie in the sky, but just never put that in the cloud. If you don't review it, then the error's on you. Like when you're done with AI is kind of when your job first begins. And then just be careful of bias when you're working with AI. But the thing I wanted to share is we've been the FLX AI Hub. We've been going around doing different talks. And if you're interested in a talk about like the state of play of AI, or this talk is about how like, a lot of people might think they missed the boat on AI because it came out 2 years ago. But this is kind of a reassuring talk that kind of contextualizes that and helps people on board for low and no users. We talk about different forms of AI literacy across college campuses. We have a talk about like, this is actually a really cool talk about the 5 dimensions of AI bias. So it's well beyond just the training data. We do some prompt engineering. And then we have this talk, What's Your 78, which is a nod to the game of Go. And then we have a roadmap, like how we establish everything we're doing at the college. We also are working with local educators, local business, and the community. So we are rolling out one course a month for local educators that anyone can sign up for. I think it's $99 for the whole series, and each course is between 1 and 3 hours, and you can get CTLE credit for it as well. We do stuff about like AI for communication, curriculum. We'll do instructional design. We have a course coming out on IEPs and all sorts of good stuff. Then we also work with the business and government. We teamed up with the Chamber of Commerce to do some sessions, which were some really cool sessions right here that people love, like making AI simulated focus groups. And we have a podcast for the community. So this is if you want to find out more about us, these are the 2 resources that you can certainly go to. But we love sharing what we know, and we love going to new places and kind of rethinking how people are using AI. And I
Thanks.
think, yeah.
Thanks so much, Dave. Just to give one final opportunity for questions. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dave. And thank you to all of our attendees for your attention and participation in today's webinar. Just a quick preview of tomorrow's sessions are on This slide and more details can be found on our National Distance Learning Week website, which Erin has just thrown in the chat. Recordings will also be posted on the same site. National Distance Learning Week is sponsored by USDLA, who also hosts additional events this week. Check them out on their event website, and we hope to see you at another session this week. Thanks very much.
Thanks, everyone.